breaking down the deals, data, and disruption shaping global markets. You're listening to The Daily Ledger with Dennis Sert.
Hey folks, it is Monday, April 20th, 2026. You're listening to The Daily Ledger Show, and I am your host, Dennis Sert. Great to be here with you tonight. We got some good stories we're going to get into today. Tim Cook stepping down as Apple CEO, John Ternus taking over. We're going to talk all about that. Of course, if you've been listening, which we all have, obviously, we were talking about this all the way back in November, so no surprise there. Mark Benioff says the software bears are all wrong about Salesforce. So this is going to be a fun story. We're going to talk all about that. You're about to see a lot of critical software updates. Don't ignore them. And finally, Chinese robot beats human best time in half marathon after a stumble. So we're going to get into all that. Before we do, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share all the shorts with your friends. And yeah, we should have a good show. Let's just dive right in. So, yeah, I mean, as I said in the intro, nothing new here. I mean, Tim Cook was kind of saying he was selling like a bunch of shares, getting a bunch of like Nike shares. And at the time I was like, oh, yeah. I was kind of kidding around like, oh, he might go to Nike because he was like selling so much and like buying so much Nike. Yeah, so that was like in November. And then, you know, the Wall Street Journal and stuff came out with articles back then saying like, oh, like who's John Ternus, you know, and he's this senior vice president of hardware engineering. He's a big product guy. So that's his thing. He's like a big engineer type guy. He had a huge impact with a bunch of products. AirPods is one of the big ones. The new MacBook Neo kind of was most under his purview. So yeah, I mean, I just hate fakeness and just everything about like Tim's like little letter and stuff and like the little photo shoot that they did together. I mean, it was just kind of completely manufactured. I think I have it right here. I'm just like, oh my God. He has like a letter. I wasn't even gonna show it, but yeah, anyways. But basically you can imagine them kind of walking around Apple Park and they're all like smiling at each other, and it's just like, okay, like, can we just get this over with? Like, I'd have more respect if it was just like, okay, hey guys, handed it to John Ternus. Okay, bye. You know what I mean? Like, like what the fuck? What? Like, you know what I mean? That's the phase that they were going. Let's see, Apple Newsroom. Oh yeah, here we go. This is exactly what I was referring to. So it's just like, you know, I wonder how much the cameraman's shaking right here. Just like, oh, it's the old CEO of Apple and the new one together. Oh my God. Just give me a break. And Tim's not even going anywhere. He's gonna be like the executive chairman. So he's not gonna be chief executive. He's gonna be the executive chairman. So it's okay. Like, I thought you were leaving, man. I thought that was your thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, why all this hubbub? It's like a huge press release thing on apple.com. It's like on all over the Wall Street Journal. It's like, okay, I don't even care. Mark Benioff says the software bears are all wrong about Salesforce. Now, this is just an incredibly like boomer sort of take. It's like, oh, and then, you know, he must have learned what vibe coding means. And he's like, oh, Salesforce couldn't have been vibe coded, everybody. Ha 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 ha. It's okay. What's more funny to me is actually that this is the very same Mark Benioff who last year was like, yeah, I think Trump should send in the National Guard into San Francisco, which, by the way, he's completely correct on. All of the fentanyl zombies on like Van Ness and Market Street specifically are all walking around looking for fucking victims to just shank with their machetes and their screwdrivers. Like, no joke, I lived right there. I'm telling you firsthand, that's exactly how it was. And yeah, fuck yeah, there's got to be National Guard in there. You know, it's got to be cleaned up. Like, literally everyone's on drugs. And it's like, whatever. And he's like, yeah, we should do that. And then he pussied out And then he was like, and then I guess he got some backlash. Some people are like, I can't believe, one of the executives at Salesforce would talk about this. CEO. And then he's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm just like, shut the fuck up. You are a bitch. Like, oh my God, the only reason I know this is because it's an Instagram reel meme template. But that Toy Story meme where it's the main character with the hat and he's like, you are a toy. It's like here, except it's me yelling at him, being like, you are a bitch. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you shouldn't have fucking backed down because that was the correct take. Okay. Like the fentanyl zombies will murder you like in 2 seconds. Like it is like you need to be careful when you're living in San Francisco because these people are high off their mind and looking to for their next high and nothing's gonna stop them. So it's like that's kind of what we're dealing with. And he's like, oh no, actually, we don't need to clean up anything. Well, everything's fine. Yes. Okay. No. But and then he's gonna come up and be like, and look how proud he looks. He's like, oh yeah, look at all these like normies I'm about to just spew my slop on. And then he goes, yeah, our customers couldn't easily vibe code their sales management software, so they can't compete with Salesforce. So okay. You're about to see a lot of critical software updates. Don't ignore them. So, Anthropic's new Mythos, has come out. It's like a limited release to like some of the biggest companies. They're trying to make sure that doesn't leak out to like, adversaries or whatever. And so now this article is kind of warning users like, oh, like don't ignore your critical software updates because now it's actually being checked by AI. Well, I thought AI hallucinated. I thought AI could never take your job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I actually got a pink slip now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a pink slip for the live stream. You know what I mean? Last time I was so sad I didn't have a pink slip, but this time I'm just waiting for the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, no, like I literally thought, oh, AI will never take my job. I'm too important, guys. Please. My engineering's the best in the world, everybody. It's like, do I have news for you, bitch? You know what I mean? No, but for real, everyone's like, oh, like at the same time that they're like, oh, AI will never take my job. It's like, oh wow, the new Anthropic Mythos tool is actually that good to where now security actually matters. Yeah, so make sure you update everybody. Okay. Chinese robot beats human best time in half marathon after a stumble. Tech companies make progress in fixing humanoid runners' malfunction. So I guess there was like this robot, there was like this half marathon in Beijing, and this robot ended up winning. So unfortunately, it fell, and then humans had to like help it get back up, which I think doesn't really count. Then the minute you intervened, it's over. Like it doesn't count anymore. It has to be start to end. The robot did it. So this doesn't actually count, unfortunately. But it did technically beat the human, the previous human record, finishing the half marathon in 50 minutes and 26 seconds. And I just want to say, like, look how proud this guy looks. Like, seriously, can this be the next CEO of Apple? For God's sake, like, this is what I want. Big man, like, unironically, look how masculine he is too. Like, yeah, he's just like, oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, what do you get from Apple? Like this fucking, what even is this? It's like, yeah, I bet they have to be like, hey, cameraman, make sure you got my you get my good side. You know what I mean? Just, yeah. Wait, let me do a take two. Let me just takes 10 steps back. Let me just do this part again. And turns to the side. Yeah, so it's like this is what you get from Apple. Whereas like this is where the real shit's at. You know, the real shit's in Beijing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so anyways, I think we're gonna end the show there. That's all I got for today. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share all of the clips and the shorts and the TikToks and the reels because we're fucking everywhere. And have a great rest of your evening. Peace.